All right. Good evening, everyone. Irish Hammer here with you, along with Tiffany. Tiffany, good evening. How are you?
Yesterday was a rough day, but good otherwise.
Yeah, not to.
I had the double whammy yesterday of
I,
Canada
I was.
losing.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure where you stand in the realm of Olympic hockey loyalty, but if you hold true to your birth country, then yeah, it was a doubly disappointing day.
Yeah.
Um, to say the least. Hey, but I will. But look at it this way: um, Canada took home silver, and it's the first time they've won anything silver since 1993. So it's not all bad for the Canadians. So
this is true.
What a game though. That was man, that was magnificent. The way it should be. Although a lot of people complaining, I guess on especially from Team Canada about the overtime rules, but and I understand they would prefer to play the traditional 5-on-5, but look, they didn't just announce that, oh, by the way, guys, overtime is going to be 3-on-3. Like we all knew going into this that was going to be the situation in overtime. So I thought that was a little, weak to use that argument of we should have played 5-on-5.
You know what I think probably the thing that pissed me off the most was the Canadian reaction to the loss yesterday. Like, the calling Americans sore winners and all this. And I'm like, Canada started this last year booing the American anthem. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
And in 2022 or in 2002, and especially 2002, when we beat the U.S. in the gold medal game on American soil, Canadians were insufferable. So I was just like, you guys would have done the same thing. And the 3-on-3, again, you knew that. And it's not like the other team had an advantage. They also only had 3 players out there.
Exactly.
They do that because when the NHL shifted away from multiple overtimes a couple years ago, because what was happening is 5-on-5, and then even the NHL at one point took it down to a 4-on-4 overtime. But they were going into double, triple, quadruple overtimes. And in hockey, that is rough on the players.
It's extremely taxing.
Right? So
absolutely.
That's why the NHL brought in the shootout if no one wins in the first overtime. And I'm personally glad they don't have a shootout in the Olympics. I don't love the shootout, but they did 3-on-3 to speed it up. There's to make sure that they only have to go one overtime. So I don't know. I was disappointed in the Canadian reaction.
Yeah. And part of it, to your point, I mean, what did you expect? And don't sit there and tell me that you wouldn't have reacted the same way had Canada won, right? Not you, but Canadian fans.
It would have been absolutely insufferable.
Yeah, and then I don't think Nathan McKinnon helped the cause when he comes out and says, I mean, it's pretty obvious who the better team was. And I'm like, yeah, because the scoreboard tells me, and the medal podium tells me. And I thought it was really rich coming from a guy that went -2 in plus-minus for the tournament.
Yeah,
was the one to talk about how great the play was.
Hang the banner, Canada, for being the team that had the puck the most and still didn't win. That just makes you look worse. You couldn't capitalize. Yeah.
Well, the way I addressed it was I don't think that it really didn't speak to who the better team was. It spoke to who the better goaltender was.
Exactly.
Because I think Connor Hellebuck just was that's got to be. And I mean, I was around. I lived the 1980 win over the Soviets, and then against Finland for the gold. That was the best performance I've seen from a goalie in the Olympics ever. It was just tremendous. And the fact that they did not give up a single goal in power plays, that their penalty kill was 100%.
Yeah.
Just a tremendous effort overall. And it was destiny. I mean, it was the 46th anniversary to the day.
To the day.
Of the 1980 win. Yeah.
I said that to my husband. I said that was to the day. So
yeah. So what did you expect, Canada? So yeah, some sore losers there, and it's fine. I mean, but the problem that is Canada hockey Twitter a thing? Like, is that apparently it is because I've had
I'm sure it
so
is.
many receipts I've had to cash in. But the problem is those are just hockey fans all the time. You ran into an entire country of bored college football fans that had nothing else to do and nobody else to pick on but you. So you shouldn't have poked that bear because you earned every bit of it.
To rage bait, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh yeah, pick the wrong crowd. Pick the wrong crowd to trigger and bait because we'll gladly take it. So all right, so great. Little sidetrack there. That's okay though because it's the Olympics, right? So got to wait 4 years to get your sport back, Canada. So anyway, so we struggled on the diamond.
Had a rough weekend
this weekend. I mean, game one was thrilling in the fact that Tyler Myatt made his presence known and kind of had a shot heard around the country there with that walk-off home run. But then it just went downhill on Saturday, and then Sunday the wheels just came off the wagon. So we drop the series, of course, and that's our first non-conference series loss since 2020. This team has not lost a non-conference series in over 5 seasons. So not a good omen for Coach Elander and the boys. They did fall 7 spots from number 13 to number 20. That's the D1 poll. I haven't seen Baseball America, and quite frankly, I don't really get into all of the different polls because I just don't feel like that it's necessary to have that many. I just stick to D1 ranking. But the thing, I'll talk about what stood out to me as some opportunities, and then, of course, we have the spreadsheet guru that will take us through, speak to some of that specifically. But I don't think 6 hit batters committing 6 errors and scoring 10 total runs over a 3-game series is a recipe to win.
No, and I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Kent State because, they're a scrappy team and they know how to capitalize, but no one knows how to beat Tennessee like Tennessee.
That's true. Nobody is better at beating Tennessee than Tennessee. And, and we kind of talked about Kent State last week leading into, and I've seen a lot of people come back now that the series is over talking about how we're just coping and all this. And yes, I understand it's a MAC team. I understand it's a mid-major team, but so was Coastal Carolina last year. Don't forget that. So we knew Kent State was gonna be a challenge. I think our pitching, other than the hit batters, I think our pitching did really well against a pretty potent lineup up until Sunday. Like I said, the wheels sort of fell off the wagon. But it's the runners left on base that's really concerning to me. And it was a little bit of a problem last year, especially we had a stretch there where I don't know what the number was. It was ridiculous. I counted 33. I don't know if I'm right. You probably have a better number than I do.
For the whole weekend?
For the whole weekend.
I have 20.
I may have made some up.
Let me 1 second.
That may be 33 for the season.
We're at 53 for the season.
Maybe it's 53. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. That's option C. Too many runners left on base. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And you can give it the specifics, but I think that's the most. I think hitting the batter sometimes pitchers can get a little fired up and maybe one gets away. I don't like 6 getting away. The fielding errors, I think we can clean that up. It's early. Yeah. And, I was a little surprised, however, to see Henry Ford botch. Antigua had another, I think, two that were. I mean, they're all costly. Let's not say, oh, it's not a big deal. They can definitely come back and bite you, and unfortunately, these did.
Yeah.
But overall, I felt like pitching was really good. We're still top 10 in the country. We're number 7 with a 1.64 team ERA because all of those unearned runs that came across due to the hit batters and the errors. So it's a little misleading, but we also are 8th in strikeouts per 9 at 13.4, and we have struck out 10 or more in 6 of the 7 games. The 7th game, we had 9. So I think the pitchers are pulling their weight. We've just got to get Jobu out and wake up bats because we are struggling mightily getting runners across the plate. So that's kind of what I saw. I'll let you take it from here, share your thoughts, anything from the spreadsheet that stood out to you, and if you have any answers that we can pass along to get this team right, that'd be great too. So the floor is yours, my friend.
So I added to the spreadsheet on the weekend because I wanted to see. I mean, runners left stranded on base is an issue. Somebody on Twitter was like, oh, but high scoring teams are going to leave a lot of guys. And I'm like, yeah, but we're scoring like 1 run, 1 and 2 and 3 runs in this series. Like that's not, that's not enough to be considered a high scoring team. So I went through and I looked at which players have been stranded on base the most. So they're getting left on base the most. But then who's the third out stranding?
Ooh, yeah.
Right. That one particularly interests me because that tells me that from a mental standpoint, they don't have a very good approach.
Yeah.
And I mean, even just watching some of the at-bats on the weekend, I was like, are you guys even like looking at like how many outs there are, who's standing where? Like, it just seems like our situational awareness getting into the box wasn't great.
Yeah.
A lot of this past weekend, especially. I mean, that was something I noticed last year too. Like, hey, can we maybe like somebody have a conversation with them? Like, okay, the bases are loaded. There's 1 out. If you cannot score a run here, you've not done your job. Right.
Yeah.
So in terms of who's getting left on base the most, Chapman, Lawless, and Antigua, surprisingly, with 8 being stranded. I also just thought it was the most Tennessee thing ever that I think it was game 2. Antigua leads off, actually gets on base,
Yes.
and then it's just 3 outs. So, and then the person doing the most stranding, the third out, is Antigua with 13.
Yeah. And I think that's been kind of the driving force behind some of the rally cry behind he needs to come off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I get that he has an amazing glove, and I'm not saying that we don't need his glove out there in the lineup, but it's so hard when he's just, not. And then him and Newstrom back to back as well was like, basically, you might as well just give them 3 outs. I mean, or two back-to-back outs, right? Like,
right.
Antigua's sitting at 3 RBIs on the season, Newstrom at 1. Antigua, and I think Newstrom was kind of flying under the radar because he didn't start much last year, right? So we're not carrying forward that resentment from last year, but I mean, his numbers aren't much better. So I'm glad they made the switch up and put Brown in left. And I definitely like Abernathy in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I love Abernathy there. And if I can interrupt you just 10 seconds and talk about Jay Abernathy. If I had to give an award for the player of the week last week, it is Jay Abernathy.
Yeah.
He has been on fire for I think for the week last week, 500 batting average, had 7 hits, scored 5 runs, 4 RBI, 2 doubles, home run, 14 total bases, and 1,000 slugging percentage. He's absolutely on fire. That's the kind of numbers that can set the plate and set the table for the rest of the team. But we got to get him across the plate.
Yeah.
Jay Abernathy can't go out there and hit 500 and get 4 or 5 hits every game. It's not going to happen. So we've got to have other guys. And to speak real quick, and then I'll shut up, about Antigua, 100%. The guy's a vacuum. Like Antigua or Ariel Hoover Antigua would be a nickname because the guy sucks everything up out there. But right now, that's not our – it is our problem. We had 6 errors over the weekend. But – overall, all these guys can field. So I don't think we need a bat. We need somebody with a bat in that lineup until we start producing runs. And I'm not talking about just jacking homers. I'm talking about manufacturing runs, getting the runners across the plate. I'm sorry, but Antigua needs to sit down.
Yeah.
And we need to do something different. Tyler Myatt, until he proves he can't, needs to be in that lineup. Because we need thundersticks out there. And Antigua was that close to getting his first home run. It was close.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that he bats in the bottom third of the order. So anyway, I love the kid. I will never badmouth any of our players. I just think he is better as a utility defensive. Let's get a 2 or 3, 4 run lead. Then we can bring him in to protect that. But he is not going to generate offense consistently or at this point at all. We got to change something there. It's got to change. I'm sorry, Tiffany. Go ahead.
You're good. I agree with you. And having him and Newstrom back to back, like I said, it was just like the kiss of death. If they both got up in an inning, it was basically 2 outs. Or if they were coming up in a 2-out situation, one would get on and the other would go out. And so,
it's like that fat, ugly kid that has the funny lunchbox and smells bad getting picked for kickball. He's an out. You don't worry about him. That's kind of what those guys have been.
Yeah.
Speaking of ugly, hey Ferris, what's up?
So the other thing, we could really see, I thought a lot about this over the weekend. We are, I think I saw the stat, the most inexperienced SEC team in the conference, right? The youngest, had a lot of sophomores. And while we did have a lot of guys come in, we don't have a lot of guys, especially older guys with SEC experience, right?
Sure.
Other than, we have Abernathy, Antigua, Marin with, a year, Antigua with kind of a year and a bit.
Yeah.
Chapman, right? But, looking at Brown coming in, he played at Rice last year. He had an awful weekend at bat.
But I got to give that guy credit. He absolutely put that throw from left field on a rope. Oh my goodness, what a throw!
Yeah. But he went over for the weekend.
Yes.
At the plate, and then Henry Ford on Friday night also couldn't get his bat going.
And that's concerning a little bit for me because this guy was supposed to be, and I'm not saying he's not, okay, but he's supposed to be like legit MLB high draft prospect talent. We were lucky to keep him, that he didn't go into the draft to begin with, and Tony leaves and it's like, oh crap, now he's really going to go. Nope, he stayed. So I think there is an expectation, fair or unfair, it is what it is. There's an expectation that when you're that guy that could have been in the first, second round of the MLB draft, you should be able to perform at this level. Yeah. So a little concerning.
Yeah, it was. Ford had He was 0 for on Saturday or on Friday, Saturday 1 hit, Sunday 3 hits. So he did, piece it together.
Yeah.
But when him and Brown's bats are quiet, that's definitely an issue. And then I was thinking, like Brown is still a sophomore, and this isn't an excuse, but just a reminder, like we're on week 2 in the season, right? Brown played at Rice last year for his freshman year. So again, a different level of competition. I do like that we have some harder non-conference this year, because I think what kind of caught up to us in conference play last year was that we had such a good non-conference run that the guys weren't really tested. They were run ruling teams all over the place, and whether you want to or not, that's going to go to your head a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, and it's all fun and games when you're out there beating up on Utah State School of Forestry that doesn't have anybody that can throw over 85, and that's kind of what we did, right? I mean, we didn't face elite pitching from anybody outside of maybe ETSU, because they were really good, made a regional if I'm not mistaken, and I think we're going to see the same thing out of this Kent State team, not to smooth it over or sugarcoat it, because they just flat whooped us. But I mean, they are legit contender for a region this year, and their pitching proved that. We didn't face that quality of pitcher in non-conference last year.
No. Really
at any point. So I 100% agree with you. Kind of like, Coach Barnes always schedules these tough non-conference games against these traditional, blue blood type teams, the Houston and the Illinois and the Kansas and the Duke. That's kind of what we really need to do from a baseball perspective too. Sure, we're going to take a few lumps because you're not going to win all of those series against teams like that. But that experience and facing that level of competition versus the Powder Puffs, then you get into SEC play where everybody's got good pitching. It catches up to you. So that's a great point that, it's fun to go out there and mash and run rule everybody. It just doesn't serve you well down the stretch, and especially if you are in a position to get into regionals and supers, because, again, everybody's got elite pitching when you get to that point of the season.
Yeah. So, I mean, especially when you've got a team that doesn't have much SEC experience, we need those tests early on.
100%.
This coming weekend will definitely be a test. And might just stay off Twitter when people start crashing out potentially. But, we need it now, because that's going to push, Brown and even Myatt, right? He had a great Friday night, but was pretty quiet Saturday, Sunday. So, and, we know that he struggled in fall ball coming from JUCO and seeing that jump. But, we need them to have these challenges now so that they can elevate their game coming into SEC play.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, no disrespect, Bellarmine, you're not that team that's going to push this. You may be a get right spot for us to figure some things out, maybe tweak the lineup, things like that going into that series. But that series starts, and we'll get to Bellarmine in a minute, but that series starts with the number one team in the country, UCLA.
Yeah.
And their number one consensus draft pick and golden spike. Just everything. Mr. Baseball here.
Yeah.
Rocklowski, or I'm going to butcher his name every time I say it because I'll say it different every time. But anyway, I mean, this dude is like, elite prospect. And
so their Friday night guy has been Logan Redeman for UCLA.
UCLA.
Who's been their Friday night guy. But I mean, his stats are, 10 innings pitched, 10 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 16 strikeouts, 1 double, 1 home run, 1 hit by pitch. So
he's not untouchable by any stretch.
No.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on a season ERA of 3.6. So, I mean, that'll still be a good challenge if that's who they start against us. Sun Devils, that was their Friday night guy. Go back and Let's see who their Saturday guy is.
Yeah, I told you this offline. I'll tell it to everybody. I haven't dug into Virginia Tech nor Arizona State very much. I plan to do that. We'll address that later on. I just don't have a very good information or preparation to speak to that, so I just won't. Other than neither team is ranked, and we've got to play well against UCLA. We can't go into those follow-up games in our head, or if we get blown out, which I hope doesn't happen. I think legitimately, if our pitching's good and we can just not hit people and not make errors, I mean, we can play with anybody, and UCLA included. But I think that's going to be critical, and it's very interesting that we have to play them out of the gate. So it'll set the tone for the weekend, no doubt.
Yeah. The other thing that I was looking at over the weekend is, he has a very different style to Tony, and just wondering if that's also kind of playing a role. Like, he is very laid back, right? In his post games, he's very monotone, very almost kind of seems uninterested sometimes.
Yeah. We see Tony would come out of the dugout fired up and he even got tossed for a couple games for bumping an umpire. We're not going to see that from Josh Elander.
No,
it's just not his style.
But I'm also wondering, like, does he have to find a way to add a little bit more emotion and not always be so level? Like, I get that the level-headedness can be great, but also sometimes you need to be able to fire a guy up. So,
and forgive my foreign language skills here, but sometimes you just got to get in somebody's ass to get their attention and to change their mindset, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we are struggling so much with the kind of fundamental stuff, but it's got to change. And I know it's kind of a two-edged sword. Yes, it's non-conference, and yes, it's early, and yes, it was Kent State, but also, yes, it was non-conference, and yes, it's early, and yes, it's Kent State. I mean, there's two sides to that. One that's not panic, and two is I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to freak out like some people did and ready to throw the season away and ready for, football season already, or whatever other sport that we may do in the spring and summer months. But I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, we've got time to address and correct some things, but the things that we're struggling with, I don't feel like this team should struggle with the talent that it has.
Yeah.
I did not expect that this would be some of the issues we would be talking about.
Yeah. And, I hope, honestly, that it's just a little bit of a learning curve for them, like adjusting to the new level that a lot of them are playing at. I thought it was interesting that we didn't see Appenzeller over the weekend, but, I can also understand not bringing him out in the 30-degree weather. So.
Yes. Yeah. So speaking of Bellarmine, we'll talk about them a little bit then, since we've already beat ourselves up over everything. So Bellarmine, of course, that's in Louisville, Kentucky. So it's always fun to beat up anybody from Kentucky.
So my husband he studied in his undergrad sports management, sports something. And he worked with Bellarmine, did all their stats and stuff. That's normally one of the non-conference games we go to, but we're not going this year.
That's awesome. I had to actually look it up a couple of years ago. I didn't even know where it was. I'd heard of them. I've seen them in basketball more so than anything, but I didn't even know where it was. So Blaine Brown is going to take the hill. He has a 0 ERA. Going to be pitching against Deaton Oak, who is a right-handed pitcher. One start and has a 9 ERA. So don't know if he just had a bad outing or if he's legitimately a gas can out there. But we've got to take advantage of that. Tennessee leads the series all time, 5-0. All 5 have been in Knoxville. We've never played there. Played them last year. won 13-3. We run ruled them in 8 innings. And Tennessee has won every game in this series by 6 or more runs. And the last 3 games we played against them, we've won by 10 plus. So everything points to a big win historically.
Yes.
However, recency says I'm not convinced that we will run rule this team. I don't know if we can generate enough offense. But in midweek games, and Josh Elander joined the team in 2018. In midweek games, since Josh Elander has been on board, Tennessee is 78-11 in midweek games. We cannot lose this game, Tiffany. We can't even really afford to have a poor showing in this game. We need to come out there, handle our business. I don't care if we run rule them or not, but we need to come out there, solid pitching, no errors, don't hit anybody, manufacture some runs, and let's just go home and get ready for the trip to face UCLA. I don't want to overlook this team because you don't want to overlook anybody, but goodness gracious, if we should be able to handle this team without much concern, which is what concerns me.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll bounce back. I
definitely agree. I just hope to see some of the things that haunted us in, well, really the first 2 games, period. I mean, even though, we won, we had to walk them off. And LSU was talking a lot of junk about us having to walk off Kent State.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they had just played them and won 10-7. And so, I mean, we didn't give up 7 runs to them either. So,
not on Friday, we didn't. But
but that all seemed to fade when, and game 2 was a really good game, 2-1. And again, we beat ourselves. We absolutely handed them that game on a silver platter. And had we won game 2, game 3, I don't think would have stung so bad.
No.
We would have secured the series. But, man, did we suck on Sunday. So we've got to shake that off. And you and I have talked about it. Both of us have backgrounds in, psychology and toughness and things like that. I mean, it's, we talk about gut checks. Well, it's brain checks. We got to see these guys not get in their heads and come out there and just play ball.
Yeah.
I really need to see us move some runners on bases. We cannot continue to leave runners on base. The errors, the fielding stuff, I think can clean up. I kind of busted Henry Ford's chops a little bit, but that one that he missed, man, that thing was an absolute rocket. And I played third and short on grass. And let me tell you, that ball coming off that bat about 90 feet away is absolutely smoking. You don't know what 120, 110 miles an hour feels like or looks like until you're out there. So that thing playing off turf, it's gonna cook even more. So I don't terribly come down on him, but it's just, I guess that on top of everything else that we saw, it was kind of hard to see that from him. But those things can be corrected. That's just repetition and getting familiar with the field and the turf. And I think they can clean that part up. I can't help but wonder every time we run into an issue with pitching. And so far, really the only thing has been the hit batters. How much are we going to miss Frank Anderson on this team?
Yeah. I saw a couple people talking about how it seems that Josh Reynolds' strategy is to come inside a lot more, and so we might see a lot more hit batters. I really hope that's not the case. I really just hate giving free bases up.
Yeah, because that's what beat us. I mean, that's what beat us on Saturday.
And on Sunday, between the walks and the hits on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they walked someone across the plate. So it'll be interesting to see if that stays the strategy or if they shift that. One thing I noticed last year that really irked me, and I'm seeing it again in this past series, is especially when the Vols are down, they all start swinging for the fence. It's like they're all trying to be the hero. And I don't know. I would hope that's not like an Elander mentality, but that like he really needs to drill into them. Like, just do your job. Your job is not like if the pitch is there for you to hit it out, cool. But otherwise, like just focus on your job. Either get on base or move the runner over.
Yeah, and it's fun, right? I mean, everybody, like the old commercial, chicks dig the long ball. Everybody loves the big home run, me included.
I started a spreadsheet for it.
But that's exactly right. That was the catalyst for it all. But that's not always going to be. It's not always going to be on the table.
No.
And you have to be able to manufacture runs. I'm a huge New York Yankees fan. I have been since 1977.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. Reggie Jackson, World Series, 3 home runs. Watched it with my grandfather in the basement of the house, and I've been a fan ever since. They lived and died because they couldn't manufacture runs. If they didn't hit home runs, they didn't win games.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. Same with this team. And I know we've got some big sticks in this lineup, but I don't know that this is going to be a heavy home run hitting team compared to what we've seen over the previous years.
Yeah.
So we've got to figure that out.
You
have in baseball, you have to be able to manufacture runs, just like in football. You have to be able to run the football. You can't throw 80-yard bombs, post routes every play.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we, even on the weekend, only had 1 bunt, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I didn't see most of the game Sunday because I had life. But golly, it was just it's fundamental stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what irks me. Concerns me a little more maybe than, I don't know. I won't say it should, because I think we should be concerned right now with some of that stuff. But the basic fundamental stuff of catching and hitting and going from first base to second base and second base to third base and throwing out guys that are trying to steal and not muffing balls. It's just, and some of the mistakes have been just the most untimely mistakes. So we're playing sloppy, and we got to clean it up, because I'm just kind of looking ahead on the schedule. Of course, Bellarmine tomorrow. That game's at 3 Central. Goodness gracious. Then, of course, the weekend set against UCLA, Arizona State, Virginia Tech.
I do have the stats for Arizona and Virginia Tech pitchers if you want to hear them.
Oh, perfect. Yes, let's do that real quick before I get into the other piece of this.
So Saturday, Arizona State will likely see Colin Linder. So he has a 2.08 ERA, 8.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts. And then on Sunday, Virginia Tech, we should be seeing Ethan Grimm. He has a season ERA of 3.52. 7.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, 12 strikeouts. He's given up 3 doubles. There's a setup weird. No home runs for him. So.
All right. So good pitchers, decent pitchers, not great, not elite numbers. Haven't pitched a lot of innings, which I think could favor us, because if those guys only go 4 or 5 innings, that means we get to their bullpen guys sooner, which you typically think bodes well for you.
And I mean, they haven't
100% guaranteed too, but
they haven't played quality teams either. So Ethan Grimm's Virginia Tech, his stats are coming against William and Mary and Rutgers, and Arizona State's are coming against Omaha and St. John's, New York.
Well, LSU fans will tell you that Omaha is legitimate mid-major team, and to which I say, hey, great teams lose in Omaha. They don't lose to Omaha.
That's right.
But anyway, so
4 hits. ASU's guy gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run to Omaha. So
okay, all right. So not exactly SEC competition that they've faced so far. So yeah, I feel pretty good. I actually feel pretty good about both those games. It would be hard for me to sit here and tell you that I would expect us to win against UCLA. I think we're capable of playing with those guys, especially if Coons is on. Then I think we've got a legit shot. But
yeah,
I can't sit here and tell you I expect us to win that game. It's just not based on what I saw on Saturday and Sunday, or even Friday for that matter. We played like that against UCLA. They may have run us out of the stadium. So
yeah.
And then from there, we get those pesky tryhards back from Johnson City. ETSU will come to town for a Tuesday game. We'll play Oakland the next day on Wednesday. Then we've got a series with Wright State, who we have a little history with. So we'll very much like to see us at least win that series. Then Tennessee Tech will make the short jump up from Cookeville. And then it seems like it's forever away, but it's really not. We are looking at our first SEC series on March 13th in Athens, Georgia, who, if I had to give you a few teams not named LSU to win the SEC, Georgia would be on my short list. So whatever we need to figure out and fix, we need to do it quickly.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at a couple teams in Wright State and ETSU that could give us some problems. And then we get to kick off the SEC schedule with Georgia. Fortunately, the baseball powers that be saw fit to throw Eastern Kentucky and Missouri in there the following week. Thank you. We appreciate that. Then we go to Vanderbilt. So we don't host our first SEC series until April. And guess who that is? Oh, the defending national champions of LSU. So that's why it's pretty critical that we get some things corrected and some things fixed. And a lot of these mistakes cleaned up, because it's coming, Tiff, quick, and it's coming heavy. We don't get the bottom of the barrel, which there's really not too many of those anyway in our conference, because I think 11 of our teams are in the top 25. Ole Miss just joined the party today.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, and they're undefeated. So it's not gonna be a fun run if we can't get some things squared away. So just real quick, if you would humor me, where do we sit on? I got to go to the OG spreadsheet, which is the home runs. So where are we sitting? Who's leading the pack? Who hasn't? We know Ariel hasn't hit one, but other than him, what does it look like?
So we are. I mean, we didn't have any on Sunday. So we are sitting at a total of 13. Comparatively, last year's team had 20 by this point.
That was going to be my guess. We probably had at least 20 last year.
Yeah, so we're 7 off this year. So Ford and Brown leading the pack with 3 apiece, and then Lawless Myatt with 2 apiece, and then Clark, Bates, and Abernathy with 1 each. I was super happy that Jay got his.
Me too. I just like that kid. I'm really pulling for him now and beyond. I just think he could be special. He's athletic enough.
Yeah.
I just like the kid. So
yeah.
So as far as our injuries go, what do you know about maybe a timeline of return for the guys that are sitting out right now?
So I haven't seen anything about Grimmer or Wright when they might be back. I mean, it would be real helpful to have them for something this weekend.
They could even pitch hit against UCLA. I think that would be beneficial. Of course, we don't want to rush them back and risk not having them for SEC play. But I'm having trouble. Of course, I'm down here in Huntsville, Alabama for starters. So
yeah,
I'm not as entrenched in the Knoxville media as certainly as you are. But it's just, I guess because it's so early that college basketball is really heating up with the tournament coming, and we just finished the Olympics. So I'm having trouble finding a lot of good college baseball information, period. Not just us, anybody. I mean, I've had to really dig just to find what I found on some of these teams. So,
yeah, I haven't seen anything other than when we talked last week that Grimmer and Wright would not be back this week. I don't think we've got any other outstanding injuries. I mean, so Wright had broken one of the tiny bones in his wrist. And last I saw was that Elander said he was making good progress. And Grimmer was dealing with a back issue. So that can be.
Yeah. Well, we were told that Jermod McCoy was making good progress too all season by Josh Heupel. So I don't put a lot of stock in that. Till I get a date of return, I don't really have any confidence in the coach speak.
Yeah,
because I think those guys are going to be important. Grimmer especially, I think, is important. I know Wright is too, but I don't know. I think Grimmer could. I think he could be a spark.
Yeah, and I mean Grimmer's got some SEC experience, right?
Yes.
And coming in to pinch hit last year. So, but then Wright has a bat as well. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, again, not at all jealous that Elander has to figure out what that lineup looks like, especially when those two come back.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Like the Tyler Myatt thing. It's like, man, we've got to find this kid a place in the lineup permanently. But I mean, and they're all going to go through slumps. Even our best hitters have gone through streaks where they just not seeing the ball well, or something's off in their mechanics. It's something mental. Baseball is a very mental sport, and we just don't need everybody getting off their game at the same time, which is kind of what it felt like happened this week. So got to shake it off, boys.
I don't know if they were – part of me kind of felt like maybe they were a little caught off guard too at the level that Kent can play at. I mean, they're also a more experienced team, like you said last week. So I don't know if that kind of caught them off guard or what happened, but
yeah, they definitely have more continuity than we do, and also UCLA very much has more continuity than we do. The bulk of their team is back. Almost their entire pitching staff is back. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. And quite frankly, unfortunately, that kind of falls on Josh Elander. You've got to have those guys ready to play. And I certainly don't think anybody took Kent State lightly or overlooked them. No reason to. But something was definitely disjointed with what we did this weekend. So hopefully that Bellarmine is it Bellarmine or Bellarmine? How's it pronounced?
Bellarmine.
Bellarmine? Okay.
Yeah, that's how my husband says it.
Okay, we'll go with that because he would know. So Bellarmine it is. That hopefully that's just get right. We tweak and play with the lineup maybe a little bit. We don't get anybody hurt. We don't hurt anybody with a baseball, and we get out of there with a comfortable win and ready to take on the Bruins. So I've got to ask, and I guess I don't know. I haven't paid attention. I apologize. Who is your major league team?
So the Canadian in me feels like I have to cheer for Toronto, but growing up, I also loved the Angels. So
that's acceptable.
I pay both.
Yeah, we have the Trash Pandas, who are the AA affiliate for the Angels. I used to actually do some work for them, stat tracking. I actually did some camera work as well for the Trash Pandas. So, and we're starting to fill their roster up with former UT players too, which is kind of cool because I've got to see some of those guys here in Huntsville. I'm hoping that Blake Burke is still around when they make a trip from Biloxi up to Huntsville, because I told Mama Burke I would stand outside by the team bus screaming and yelling and waving my jersey at Blake when they come up here. So hopefully that works out and I can embarrass myself and maybe him. I don't know.
Well, you might also get to see Fisher there. I'm hoping by the time Biloxi comes to Knoxville, which isn't until the beginning of June, that Fish is up.
I can't imagine he wouldn't be, right? Because I think that guy's going to just mash in single A. I think he's going to rise pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you might get to see Sneed there too.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Nate Sneed.
Oh yeah, I love Nate. He's one of the coolest people to interact with and stuff on Twitter. He's really generous with his time and comments. So that'd be great. Yeah, I love Nate. He's one of the cult heroes, I think, of this team, right up there with the Hunter Insleys and the Aaron Combs and Christian. Yeah. So that'd be cool to see. Well, is there anything else we need to talk to death?
Well, for those keeping track, Tony is 3-0 in spring training games. So I think he gave game one on Saturday, it must have been. I think he gave San Francisco Giants media a little bit of a heart attack. They were already a little bit, iffy on Tony after his Tennessee, like, who leaked this rant. Before. But they went down 5-0. They ended up coming back to win it 10-5, but I saw some panic when they were down 5-0. So, but Tony's winning, which I'm going to be honest, I wish him all the success in San Francisco because I do not want him coming to an SEC competitor.
Absolutely. I hope he has the career of careers in Major League Baseball, because
Major League Baseball coach.
I never want to hear the words come out of our Arkansas fans' mouth, "I told you so."
Yeah.
Because that feels like the natural progression, that if things go south and Dave Van Horn hangs them up, then that's the first name that's going to pop up. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it.
I know.
So I wish Tony nothing but the best. I hate the Dodgers anyway. So more perfect team for me to pull for, not named the Yankees, than the Giants. I was born in Alameda, California. So it's only natural that I'm a 49ers fan. So I'm on board. So go Giants, go Tony. Win, stay the hell out of the SEC.
Yeah. So I've added the Giants to my favorites list as well.
Yes. We'll be keeping a stark eye on the Giants as their season progresses. And he's got a tall task, though. Goodness gracious, I don't know how you compete. I don't know how anybody competes with what the Dodgers are doing. They're just out there collecting players like they're Pokemon or the Pink Starbursts or something.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I hope that gets solved sooner than later, but it's baseball and owners have more money than some countries. So I don't know that it's going to change anytime soon, but for the foreseeable future, it's the Dodgers and everybody else.
So you may not have seen this. I didn't know this. I learned this on Twitter yesterday while everyone was making fun of Canada, but apparently Alabama, the state of Alabama, and the people there have a higher quality of life and more money than Canadians do.
Well, as a resident of this godforsaken state, my prayers are with you, Canada.
So
I did see something about that, and it kind of made me scratch my head and go, have y'all really been to Alabama? Like, I'm fortunate in that I don't live in Huntsville proper. I live just 10 minutes outside of, I'm like 15 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
So I'm just a few minutes outside of the city limits, which is perfect for me because I don't like people to start with, and I definitely don't like these people. But it's different because everything here is centered around space and technology and defense, and that's why I'm here. Is I do some version of that for people like that. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So it's a different in the city. It's a lot different because you've got people from Quantico and other parts of DC. You've got people from all over the country and the military coming in. All the defense contractors are here. So, there's more probably rocket scientists and PhDs in Huntsville per capita than any place else outside of maybe Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of very intelligent people here, which also comes with very high levels of income. So I'm sure that probably drives some of that number. You go outside of that, I'm going to have a hard time believing that the people in Alabama live better than people in Canada.
I think it was the median income of Alabamans, or I don't know what you are. People who live in Alabama.
People from Gumps is what I call them, but
versus the median income of Canadians, both like translated to US dollar.
I was thinking, is that American money?
It is, but the cost of living in Canada is really high.
Yeah. Outside of a few areas, that's probably the case. Is the cost of living difference would definitely be a factor in that. And
I would say the tax rate too. I mean, Canadian tax rates are high because of
the free healthcare and it is free. Is education, like college level education, is that free as well?
No,
is not. I think they're getting ripped off then.
Yeah.
I do like a high, like, not to get into politics because I don't do politics, period. But I will say this because it's economics, not politics. I do like the idea of like a 15% flat tax, not pay income tax and all those other crazy, stupid taxes we have to pay. Make it like 15% sales tax. That way everybody pays tax.
Yeah.
Because if you don't own a home and you don't own a car, then you don't have to pay those taxes.
Yeah.
If you don't have a job in Alabama with the state income tax, losers, you don't have to pay tax on it. So it's kind of a punishment for being successful is the way I look at it. So I feel like there's some things that they do that make sense, but overall, no, they can have it.
Well, so every province in Canada has like they have the same federal tax, but then they have different provincial taxes.
I got you.
For where I'm from. Where I'm from got rid of provincial taxes a long time ago because Alberta is so rich. But the problem with that is that Alberta has to pay equalization payments to all the other provinces. So on average, the average Albertan pays about $5,000 a year to other provinces to equalize like the difference.
That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah. So that's why Alberta wants to leave. They're trying to separate. So
hey, come on down. I like Calgary. So
right. It would make my life so much easier.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So much.
So I say we do it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Get all the oil.
Good. So, all right. Well, this will be for everybody that is watching or will watch, because I know a lot of folks tell me they go back and catch it on the flip side. This will be our normal weekly Monday, provided nothing screwy happens with either of our schedules. We will be here with you Monday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We will chop up the happenings from the weekend prior, look ahead of what's to come, and hopefully some bigger and better news and numbers to give you going forward. We're going to flush this weekend series, get it out of our system, go beat UCLA, and all will be right in the world again.
That's right.
So, Tiffany, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, your input, insight, and your spreadsheet. It is bordering on national treasure right now. So we will keep spreading the good news of Tiffany, and continue to grow our baseball people. So again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody that tunes in. We'll tune in. If you're not already, and I can't imagine you're not, if you're a Tennessee baseball fan, go follow Tiffany. I can't quite see it, so if you wouldn't mind throwing out your Twitter handle there.
It's Vol212320.
What she said.
I tried to change it and make it shorter, but it won't let me. So
won't let you. Yeah. Well, and Ferris got dunked on by the X folks. Yeah, that's just awful. Ferris is one of the, other than his stupid short sleeve T-shirt hoodies, he's one of the best guys out there. So I have no faith in humanity anymore. We used to be a proper country, but they sniped Ferris. So make sure also go follow Ferris. He's trying to get his kingdom back. So we got to help him out. And plus he's bored and he bugs the crap out of me, and he needs to go talk to somebody else sometimes. So love you, Dave. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, everyone. Love you. And we will see you next time.
See ya.